Welcome to our V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award Bitesize Introduction for the subject area of Food and Cookery. This webinar will provide a bite-sized introduction to the new V Cert Level 1-2 Technical Award in Food and Cookery. It will guide you through the structure of the qualification, the exam and non-exam assessments, and will provide an overview of the quality assurance process. There will also be a summary of the teaching and learning materials and other resources we have available to support your delivery. Lastly, it will provide details of the provider development team if further support is required or if you have any other questions. Firstly, there will be an overview of the qualification. This is the qualification structure for Food and Cookery. The guided learning hours are 140 and includes 120 hours for delivery, 16 hours and 30 minutes for the non-exam assessment, and 1 hour 30 minutes for the exam assessment. The TQT is 154 hours, and this includes homework you might set and/or independent learning. The NEA has a 60% weighting and the EA has a 40% weighting. The content assessed in the EA and the NEA will be sampled from across the full breadth of the qualification. The overall qualification grades are a Level 1 pass up to a distinction, and for Level 2, a pass up to a distinction star. This slide shows a typical 2-year delivery model. This is only a suggestion and it helps to illustrate the new structure so you can visualize how it's going to work for you. It essentially follows a very similar structure to that of a GCSE. In the first year is for delivery, where there are no summative assessments, and the second year is the assessment year. It has been designed this way to allow the first year of delivery to be focused entirely on teaching the content of the qualification. This really allows you to focus on ensuring the learners are building up knowledge and skills and gives you as much time as possible to teach the qualification content so that your learners are ready for their assessments. All technical awards now have a terminal assessment rule as stipulated by Ofqual and the DFE. This means that the external examinations must be taken at the end of the qualification, after the non-exam assessment, i.e. the synoptic project has been completed. We will be releasing the NEA briefs on the 1st of September each year. It can also be administered from September 2 if all content areas has been taught. We think all content could have comfortably been delivered by December, ready to start the NEA in January. But some schools may get through everything sooner. The final marks will need to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April each year, in which the learner evidence will be moderated. It can be delivered over 3 years, as some centres might want to start delivering it in Year 9, although we do recommend a 2-year delivery model so that it coincides with GCSEs. This is one unit that contains 7 content areas for Food and Cookery. The specification includes the indicative content and teaching guidance that will help support your delivery. Formative assessment can help you track your learners' progress in the first year of studying this qualification. Keeping a record of each formative assessment result will allow you to monitor your learners' ongoing progress, predict a final grade, and identify if any other further interventions are required. There are various sources of data for performance indicators such as end-of-topic tests, discussions with learners to assess their depth and breadth of knowledge of the subject content, homework and independent study tasks, engagement with practical activities and outcome of practical tasks, performance at Key Stage 3, teacher observation during practical tasks using the NEA practical assessment criteria. There are also many resources such as learning roundups and the teaching material sample assessment and the prepare to teach activities that are available on our website for further support for your formative assessment. Other performance indicators can include mark schemes with mark ranges. It is worth noting that the range of marks in the mark scheme can also be a performance indicator. For example, 7 to 12 marks would be a distinction, strong level 2 merit, 4 to 6 marks would be a merit, strong level 2 pass, and 0 to 3 marks would be in the level 1 range. Another useful way to track your learner progress is to use the overall grading descriptors in the specification. In our Year 1 Prepare to Teach session, we go through this into a little more detail about formative assessment, and on the screen now you can see a range of methods. Take a moment to consider, which do you use? Do you use a wide range of activities? Do your learners get assessment fatigue? Think more broadly, could you develop your practice to make things easier for you or better for your learners? I know I have my favourite methods as a teacher, but that I need to be mindful that all learners are different and respond differently. So making things fun, diversifying the approaches, and reviewing the impact and success of my approach is really important.
There will now be more detail about the non-exam assessment, including the sample assessment material that is also available. The NEA is a practical project that your learners undertake under controlled and supervised conditions. It has a set number of tasks that are completed in 16 hours 30 minutes plus 2 hours preparation and research time. The NEA is externally set by NCFE and there will only be one attempt at the NEA per session, so there is no resubmission opportunity. NCFE recognises that reasonable adjustments may be required for assessments, and information is available in our access arrangements and reasonable adjustments policy and our special consideration policy, which is on our website. For Food and Cookery, the NEA is 60% of the technical award and has a set total of marks. A different NEA brief will be released every September, and it will target assessment objectives AO1, AO2, AO3, AO4, and AO5. This slide shows a summary of the NEA tasks for Food and Cookery, including the marks to be awarded for each section. The key point to note here is that when you are considering the learner journey and sequencing the curriculum, the content areas need to be continually linked to the NEA and its tasks. It is also worth considering how your learner journey also links to the external assessment too. Subject-specific tutor guidance has been produced in order to support the delivery of the Level 1-2 technical awards for both the examined assessment and the non-exam assessment. It is not intended to replace the specification documents, but should be used in conjunction with them to support the successful delivery and completion of the qualification and assessments. You'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. The NEA will be electronically available on the 1st of September in the year of certification, and the final NEA marks are to be submitted to the portal by the 30th of April. All teaching must be complete prior to accessing the assessment, and the learner must be booked onto the NEA associated with the year of completion. Prior to commencing the formal set hours for the NEA time, learners should be allocated 2 hours of preparation and research time. During this time, learners may have access to the project brief, but may not access the NEA tasks. This 2-hour time period is entirely open book, where the learners can access their teaching and learning materials, textbooks, the internet, and other published materials. From this, they should develop a research support pack, which can be used as their source of information when completing the NEA. This is the only support material that is permitted during the completion of the NEA tasks, unless otherwise stated within each task instructions, and must be submitted to the tutor at the end of each session and kept secure. The material developed in the planning, preparation and research time may not be submitted as evidence. The research pack should be no more than 4 sides of A4 and in font size 12. This can be handwritten or electronic. Some tasks within the NEA permit the use of the internet to support the completion of the task. Learners will be required to submit a copy of their internet browsing history to ensure that the controls around the internet use are adhered to. Where the NEA does allow for research requiring the use of the internet, learners must reference the sources in their work, and learners must cite sources of information within their NEA. There is a useful table in section 8 that will show you if the use of the internet is permitted and if internet browsing history is required. There is also specific guidance for each task within the NEA. The inclusion of these tasks is to illustrate the proposed structure and timings required resources, in addition to the pack developed in the preparation and research time, and any additional requirements around delivery or controls. Within the regulations for the conduct of the NEA section, instructions are provided on the correct administration of the NEA. NEA tasks must be issued one at a time and in the correct sequence to appropriately meet the requirements of the task in terms of the resources and organisation of the learning environment. All learners should start each task at the same time to promote fairness and prevent unfair learner advantage and aid centre manageability. Learners can rework their evidence at any point during the supervised sessions, but supervisors must not give any feedback to a learner on how a task or an area can be improved. Learners' work must not be assessed, marked, or internally quality assured during the supervised sessions. And learners will have one opportunity to sit the NEA each session. Therefore, if a learner does not achieve, they will need to be re-registered to sit the NEA and the EA for the next series. Centres will be provided with training opportunities for how to administer and assess the NEA, including the application of mark schemes. They will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes, supporting you to run your own standardisation sessions prior to the assessment window opening. These events are a great opportunity to expand your knowledge and understanding of the V Cert Technical Awards and are suitable for assessors and internal quality assurers delivering on these qualifications. Attendance at these sessions will also be checked as part of your annual monitoring review. The V Cert administration training will cover the administrative activities required to deliver and assess our technical awards, including key dates, completion of assessment paperwork, your roles and responsibilities, and what you can expect from NCFE. And lastly, the V Cert Prepare to Assess training will help develop your understanding of the grading criteria when assessing your learners' responses to the internally assessed units, and it will provide valuable information to help you understand our mark schemes. There are sample assessment materials available for the NEA, and these are for you to use as practice projects, and you can fit these in whenever it works best for you, whether that's the summer of year 10 or January of year 11, whenever you feel it is the most beneficial for you and your learners. There is also a sample mark scheme, and sample assessment materials, including the mark schemes, are available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert subject-specific page. NEA example responses are available to download in the assessment materials section of the qualification page on our website. They will not be differentiated by level for the Model 5, as these are not determined until the marks are combined for the external assessment and the non-examined assessment, and overall marks are added together, and there is a top band 4 and a band 2 level response for each qualification in the Exemplar NEAs. The example on this slide is the band 2 NEA response. And on this slide is the top band 4 NEA response example.
There will now be more detail about the exam assessment, including the sample assessment materials that are also available. To summarise, the exam assessment, or the EA, is 40% of the technical award for food and cookery. It is a written exam that is externally set by NCFE. Learners have 1 hour, 30 minutes to complete it, and it is graded out of 80 marks. There is a mixture of multiple choice, short answer, and extended response questions, and it targets assessment objectives AO1, AO2, and AO3. The exam date is May, June every year, and there is only one attempt at the exam assessment. Booking for the EA is put upon registration. Please refer to the external assessment timetable on our website for confirmation of the exact EA dates which will be published a year in advance of the actual exam assessment. Surpass is our online assessment system that allows centres to deliver external assessments securely on screen. The technical requirements that must be met to run the online assessment system are outlined in our technical specification document. You need to complete the registration form and a member of our customer support team will contact you. Once you're approved, there are various support guides aimed at supporting members of staff involved with the different stages of the assessment process. For more information, visit our NCFE Qual Centre Assessment Support online page. There are three main types of questions on the external assessment, and where possible, they have been set within contents of the subject with real-world case studies. The first type of question is multiple choice and are usually worth 1 mark. Multiple choice questions cover the assessment objective 1. The second type of question is short answer and they are usually around 2 to 4 marks. The third type of question is the extended response. Extended response questions are usually worth 6 marks or more. There are 9-mark examples on this slide. To support effective teaching and learning, the table in the tutor guidance document provides centres with the command word taxonomy used for the exam assessment. It illustrates the range of command words, associated assessment objectives, the AOs, and their intended use. It is intended to support centres when creating assessment tools. Please note that these cover the full range of the Level 1-2 technical award qualifications, and some may be more appropriate for certain subject areas. You'll find this document in the support materials section of the qualification page on our website. There are also sample assessment materials available for the examined assessment. And again, these are for you to use as mocks and can fit these in whenever works best for you. It consists of learner instructions, information and details, and the questions which are divided up into the sections with the marks to be awarded for each question. The mark scheme is also available. It will consist of marking guidelines, the AOs, and the answers, including the assessment objectives the question refers to, and the marks to be awarded. This is replicated for all these questions in each section. For the higher mark questions, the mark scheme details the level, the marks that can be awarded, the descriptor for each of the AOs, and the indicative content to be included in the learner's answer. The last page contains an assessment objective grid for each section. Sample assessment materials, including mark schemes, will be available for you to access on the NCFE website on the V Cert page.
The next few slides will provide a brief overview of the quality assurance process and then provide some information in relation to moderation. The assessor will assess and mark all learner evidence for the NEA in line with the mark schemes provided by NCFE. The assessor will also complete the learner feedback form, which is available in the assessment pack, and this will be released with the NEA brief on the 1st of September. As the NEA is moderated, the centre's internal quality assurance or IQA efforts need to be focused on upfront standardisation. Centres will need to apply their own IQA policy or policies and processes based on an outcome of standardisation activities that they complete to satisfy their own internal quality assurance. Standardisation will ensure that assessors' judgments are in line with the qualification specification and grading criteria. In line with JCQ guidance, centres should inform learners of their centre-assessed marks before marks are submitted to NCFE to allow for internal centre appeals. Centres should make it clear to the learners that the centre-assessed marks are subject to change through the moderation process. Once the centre has submitted the marks to the portal, learners will then be selected for sampling and their evidence will be reviewed by a moderator. Moderation will take place remotely and feedback will be provided on results day in a final moderation report that can be accessed on the portal. All centres with active registrations will have an annual monitoring review to review the policies and procedures. Your quality reviewer will contact you to suggest a date and time to conduct the annual monitoring review. No learners' portfolios will be sampled during this review, and the quality reviewer will not provide any subject-specific guidance. For further support, do visit our annual monitoring review page on our website and view the user guide to the annual monitoring report. If you do have any further queries about quality assurance, then please do contact the external quality assurance team on the email that is provided on the screen. In relation then to the moderation side, you will be asked to submit marks for each learner on the portal, and we will use these marks to select learners that will be sampled based on the JCQ sampling strategy. A sample will be requested based on stage 3, and you will be able to view learners that are selected for sampling on the portal. Learners selected for sampling will be visible on the portal the day after the window closes. Centres will be required to view the sampling plan on the portal and upload learner evidence for the sampled learners within 48 hours. Guidance on how to do this can be found in the portal user guide. Then, during moderation, the moderator will assess the sample. Following the moderation process and the outcome of our quality checks, one of the 3 following marks will be applied to your cohort. It'll either be the provider mark, which confirms that the provider mark has been accepted, the regress mark, which confirms the regress mark has been accepted, or the moderator mark, which confirms the moderator mark has been accepted. You will also receive a moderation report to explain the outcome of the moderation activity, along with the areas performed well and the areas for development. Again, for further information and guidance, please do refer to our website, where you can find preparing for a moderation review on our website. This next slide, or the next following slides, will give you details of the resources and the support that will be available to you and your centres. Do visit ncfe.org.uk to find everything that you need to know about onboarding, quality assurance, using the portal, moderation and assessment, certificates, training events, forms, support visits, and so much more. You'll also find a dedicated area to support the delivery of essential digital skills, functional skills, C levels, as well as V Certs, including curriculum support and assessment resources. If you're involved in teaching, assessment, and the quality assurance, then these following pages will be the most useful. The first one, the V Cert page, also the delivery support, assessment support, customer and learner support, and preparing for quality assurance. I'll just talk a little bit more in a bit more detail about each one over the next few slides. So on our NCFE website within the V Cert page, you'll find the information about why you can choose V Certs and the 14 to 16 schools brochure that contains information about Key Stage 4 vocational education and how to learn more about the V Cert qualifications. These could also be used on option evenings to help learners make informed decisions about which qualification or qualifications to take, what the progression opportunities are, and the career prospects. You'll also find the link to each subject-specific page and contains information such as the specification, the sample assessment materials, and the teaching materials. We also have our Parent, Supporter and Pupil V Cert Information Hub, where the resources are aimed at helping parents and learners make informed decisions around V Certs, including a parent guide, what learners think about V Certs, and subject-specific guides. On both pages, you can also use the Get in Touch function, where you can request more information on the subjects you're interested in. There is also the opportunity to tick the marketing communications box to receive updates on our qualifications, events and news relevant to you, either via email, on the phone, or through our social media channels. You can use our Search Our Qualifications function by adding your subject area or qualification code, or you can select V Certs in the Features box. Please do always ensure that you're on the correct page by checking the Qualification accreditation number. And this is the page for Food and Cookery. If you scroll down, you will see some brief information about the qualification, including the career opportunities and performance table details. And if you scroll further down, you will see the Support Materials tab, and this is where you'll find the qualification specification and the tutor guidance document. In the Assessment Materials tab, you will find the sample assessment materials that are available for the NEA and the EA. And lastly, the teacher materials, that these are available to download here too. And if you don't have a login for the portal, it would usually be your exams officer that can help with that. And again, you can refer to the portal user guide on our website for further support. There are classroom packs containing ready-to-go teaching and learning materials with everything that you need to deliver the V Cert effectively. The classroom packs will be in a digital and editable format, and they are free to download. There will be schemes of work which completely outline entire units of work based on 1 hour lessons for each content area. And the schemes of work will contain an additional level of detail to help you deliver your lessons and include suggested timings, lesson aims, learning outcomes, and suggested assessment activities. You'll also have complete PowerPoint presentations covering the teaching content from the specification and will include teaching activities that you can use with your learners. There will also be comprehensive workbooks to complement the scheme of work, which will contain classroom-based activities to recap and assess learning. The workbook will also include independent study tasks that you can use as homework or flipped learning opportunities. It's whatever you decide. Furthermore, the workbooks will contain learning roundups, which will be short formative assessments for learners to assess their knowledge, and these use similar question types to those that will be used in the external assessment. So, for example, multiple choice questions, short answer questions, and extended response questions. And as with all these resources, it is best to use them and adjust them to suit the needs of your learners. And as we all know, using actual assessment material is a really good way to make revision effective. And as we have already mentioned, there are sample assessment materials that are available for both the NEA and the EA for you to access on our website.
On our website, you'll find everything you need to support with your assessment. In the Access Arrangements and Reasonable Adjustments section, you'll find information about paper modifications and ways that fair assessment can be achieved and associated policies. In Special Considerations, you'll find Special Consideration Policy, the definition timescales, and how to submit a request for external and internal assessment. Before booking an external assessment, please refer to our external assessment timetable for booking cut-off dates, assessment dates, times, and results release dates. For our V Cert qualifications, you're required to make a booking for the external assessment at the time of registration. You will be prompted to select an external assessment date window before completing the registration in the portal. For the external assessment, there is a document called Regulation for the Conduct of External Assessment. For the internal non-exam assessment, there is a tutor guidance document which includes details about administering each NEA task and the NEA regulations. There will also be qualification specification instructions for delivery document, or QSID for short, and this gives specific information for the different qualifications. For example, if the assessment needs to be invigilated or supervised. There is a V Cert frequently asked questions section on our website where you can use the categories to find the relevant answers to your questions. If you have a question that isn't covered, you can always use our live chat feature or contact our customer support team using the contact details on the slide. On the V Cert's delivery support page, you will see we offer a range of delivery support events for the V Certs, from networking to preparing to teach and standardization. There will also be a V Cert playlist on our YouTube channel, and there is numerous webinars, CPD sessions and training events which you can access on demand. Other support that is available includes our external quality assurance team, who can be contacted in relation to anything about quality assurance, and for our wonderful customer support team, who can help and support with first-line inquiries, registration queries and booking on the portal. NCFE endorsed both HODA and iAchieve. There is a second edition learner textbook and Boost ebook along with a revision guide that are both available to order now. For more information, visit their website for HODA Education and contact them from vocational@hodaeducation.co.uk. iAchieve has produced complete and online resource packages that support these technical qualifications. For more information, visit their website, iachieve.org.uk. The provider development team supports staff to ensure you're prepared to teach the qualification and are clear on the requirements for delivery and assessment of the qualification. We can provide tailored interventions to meet individual needs of the centre, as well as offering a range of other services such as monthly webinars, training sessions and workshops, as well as consultations if required. If you have any questions or require further support, you can contact us directly at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk, and your questions or query will be directed to our subject specialists within the team, or you can request a support call via our website. This is the end of this webinar, and we hope we found it useful. If you'd like to help us make any further improvements and/or changes to the service and support we provide, please let us know at provider.development@ncfe.org.uk. Thanks for listening. On behalf of everyone here at NCFE, we wish you a continued successful year.